Hey there YouTube, this is my January and February book wrap-up video. I didn't make one in January because I didn't read that much and I'm also lazy. The first thing I read was actually a series, and it is the Selection series by Kira Cass, and I saw this recommended by Christina Horner, who I like a lot, and she said it was good, so I thought I would give it a try. And I got these books for Christmas, so I think I started them in December, but I finished them in January, and I finished them all like within a day. Like each book was a day. I honestly don't know what I think about this series. I like it, but I also don't really like it. Young adult romance slash dystopian series, and I think the dystopian is where I'm not really feeling it. I really liked the romance aspect of it and the development of the characters in that sense, but I felt like the dystopian aspect and the things that came with that were a little underdeveloped. I felt like I wanted more of it, or I didn't want it at all. It was kind of in that weird area where it was just not enough. Also, I'm also a little bit tired of young adult dystopian novels. I've read a lot of them and they come off as kind of the same to me. So that's I'm probably just like burnt out of that genre, so that's probably maybe where my a lot of my feelings come from with this. Next book I read is a book I've been wanting to read for literally ever, since I heard about it, and it is The Magicians by Lev Grossman, and I adore this book so much. It was described to me as kind of like Harry Potter for adults. So anything that is related to Harry Potter or is like Harry Potter I want to read. I actually didn't know what to think about it after I started actually reading it. It's very different. It's really unlike any other book I've ever read. It covers a large amount of time, which I was not prepared for. Since people told me it was like Harry Potter, I thought it would be, and there are a few books in the series, I thought it would be like Harry Potter and cover like a year in the book, but that is definitely not the case with this. And I don't think I actually really got it until towards the end, and I understand why it was the way it was, so that the main character can continue to the rest of the books. And so after I got it, I really, really liked it. Love the style that this book is written in. Like I said, it's just not like anything I've ever read, and that was just really, really refreshing. Especially coming off something like The Selection, which seemed like a little formulaic. Got a lot of things that are like Harry Potter and a lot of things that are like Narnia. Obviously very much inspired by those two things, and so if you like those, you should read this because it's really, really good. Next thing I have is not really a book and not really a graphic novel. It's kind of weird, but it is The Fall of the Mutants. It is a compilation of an X-Men story. So this is one of those, I guess, volumes that they put a whole event or a bunch of issues that are related of a comic into just a giant book so you can read the whole story, and they include all of the tie-in ones from other series. The story from 1988, which is the year I was born in, so that's really cool. Just kind of starting to get into comics, and I've always loved X-Men, so I'm kind of starting out reading a bunch of X-Men right now. And the way I understand that these volumes happen is that a lot of the big events and things that are put into here are like continuous like stories or sagas, like all of the Dark Phoenix saga, which is a big thing in X-Men. Will be put into one of those, and it's just all of the issues and related stories that fall into that story. But Fall of the Mutants is a little bit different. This includes 3 different X-Men series. It includes Uncanny X-Men, the New Mutants, and X-Factor. X-Factor is not included in this volume, it's actually in volume 2. They're not all the same intertwined story. They're separate, they're like 3 separate stories. They all are kind of interconnected. They happen at the same time in the universe, and they all have kind of a uniting theme to all the stories, and that's what ties them together. So I really enjoyed reading this. It was really fun to read some of the older X-Men comics, and because they're very different than the new ones. It did get a little bit tiring because they do like over-explain compared to the newer stuff that I've read, but it's understandable because comics are normally read like week to week. That is beneficial if you just want to just pick up a an issue, because then you'll know who everybody is and you'll know what happened recently or in the last episode, or not episode, issue, because they reference it. Reading it all as one big thing was a little bit tiring, but I kind of got over it because it was so good. The last book that I read, I just finished the other day, and it is part of my 0x16 challenge where I read all of my unread books, and that was Artemis Fowl, The Opal Deception. And this is a book that I read in middle school, or no, it was probably high school because I think this came out in 2005. Yeah, this was like around 2005, so I was already in high school. I used to love Artemis Fowl, and I just never finished this. I think I ran out of time because I didn't have a lot of time to read in high school. So it was just sitting on my shelf for years, half finished, and I finally decided I would finish it because it's been taunting me. And so this was really a nostalgic kind of read. I don't really have any concrete feelings on how it compares to the other ones because I don't really remember the other ones that well, but I do know that I really liked them, and so this was just really nostalgic to finish up, and I kind of gave myself a little bit of a refresher through the internet. I also thought this was the last Artemis Fowl book, but turns out there's 5 more. I feel like I liked the other Artemis Fowl books more than this one because I just didn't finish it. But I'm glad that I finished this book because it's not taunting me anymore. And that is everything that I read in the past 2 months. I know it wasn't a lot, but I'm working on it. Hopefully next month I will have more. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, or what you read this month, if you read something different than me. That is all I've got for you guys today. I'm Christy Lou. Till next time, matane!